All right, guys. Saunch here. Welcome back to another episode on the Bodybuilding News Network, specifically an athlete spotlight. Today we have IFBB Pro Men's Open competitor Phil Clahar. Phil, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me today.
Yeah, absolutely, Phil. I've actually wanted to have you on the channel for a minute now. When you let's go ahead and jump right into your competitive career, and then we'll get to know you a little bit more on the personal side. So I started watching you in 2019 when you did the Tampa Pro and you placed ninth. So that's kind of like where I first saw you. And that's pretty much like where I first kind of got into the whole journalism side of bodybuilding. So it was right around then. But I had a question. So I'm looking and it says you did the Caribbean Classic twice or maybe it was the same time, but two different categories. Did you get your pro card with a third place finish at that show?
No, no, I did not. You had to win the overall to get your pro card in that show.
Okay. Okay, so maybe just this scorecard is or this competitive history isn't complete. So when did you first start bodybuilding?
Oh man, I started my first show was 1999. When I first
Okay.
touched the weight, it was 13 years old.
13. Wow. Okay. What got you into weightlifting? Was it just like something at school or?
Well, I was always a big guy and I was always in some type of sport. But my dad was a professional boxer. So he actually got me into boxing and into weight training. And it took off with, wrestling. We weight trained for that. I played a little bit of football, not much. So I was always a big kid. So I kept hearing a lot of people ask me, have I ever competed? I thought about being a bodybuilder. So genetically, I was just a big kid, and I just loved being in the gym. So when my mom bought me my first weight set, I just lived in the basement working out. I enjoyed it.
Hmm. Okay. And when did you say was your first show?
1999, Palms
1999.
River, New Jersey.
New Jersey? Okay. Is that one of those, was it just kind of like a regional show or?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's where I started my bodybuilding amateur career, was in New Jersey.
Wow. Okay. And then when was your first national level show?
The first national level show, honestly, was competing in the Joe Weider Cup in Toronto.
Wow.
Um, I moved here in 2008, which is Florida, Tampa, Florida, and I competed. Man, I think it was like 2009 is when I won Mr. Florida and the Mr. Florida overall, and Tim Gardner was my coach at the time, and we were trying to fight honestly to get into the nationals back then,
Mhm.
but I was a Jamaican citizen and a legal resident, and back then we didn't have the avenues we have now back then, so it caused a lot of issues, and that's why I took a 8 year hiatus after that.
Okay. Okay. So there was a break. Um, I don't want to jump around too much, but I remember when I first heard your name. I know Dave was talking about you, and I think Dave was coaching you at the time. And like you just completely blew up on the scene of rolling into those Tampa shows. I was really impressed seeing you just from my foxhole, like just coming out of nowhere. Like the amount of like 3D muscle you had, the amount of 3D muscle you had, the conditioning, and then rolling into 2020 and 2021. I thought you had an amazing showing at the Tampa Pro, and that was probably, in my opinion, where you really popped up on the map on a lot of people's radars.
Yeah, my first experience at the Tampa Pro was 2000. I want to say 2018. I think is when I first stepped on the pro stage.
Mhm.
Joe Stubbs was my coach at the time. Uh, it didn't go our way. Um, then I went into Toronto, and it didn't go my way. And that's when now I came back into Tampa in 2019, where I had Dave Palumbo as my coach,
Mhm.
and we just brought really, really good conditioning.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly, yeah, the amount of like just 3D muscle again, the conditioning, the separation I thought was like probably some of the best on the stage. Uh now when I was looking at, and I know everyone is interesting to hear kind of like your thoughts on it. Finishing up, I'm assuming you're done with the 2021 competitive calendar.
Yeah.
What was your big takeaways from the season? Going from an 11th place finish in Chicago to challenging for the win at two different shows.
Oh, well, it actually drove me with a little bit of anger after the Chicago place in 11th.
Mhm.
I don't think I don't believe I should have placed that
No,
low.
I
A
thought you
lot of
got
people
looked
do.
over, honestly.
Um, and it's crazy because normally when situations happen, your mind thought is one, quitting, you want to be done, and that was my mind thought.
Mm.
I was very crushed at that show, and that's what bodybuilding can take a toll on you in certain ways. A lot of bodybuilders are speaking about that this year. Some of them just wanted to give up when placings don't go with the work that you put in.
Right.
You don't get placed right. They look over you. Um, and my wife basically talked me out of it because I was really, really done after that show. Because I fixed everything the judges asked me to fix,
Mhm.
and that really crushes somebody when you put that hard work in and fix that. But when I look back at it, it pushed me now to come back into Tampa better. Um,
So much better. Like, I mean, I'm getting shivers just thinking about it. But go ahead. Go ahead.
yeah, so it drove me to come in, and then once again, I came on presentation. I put together a really good package. We brought it. Uh, then when I was standing next to Ian, I'm like, oh, it's game on. You know what I mean? I'm standing next to it. Got it to seventh in the Olympia. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? Max Charles, all these Olympians. It's feeling great. So now I'm stepping up an extra notch, and I'm like, I could actually win this thing. And when we went at it after prejudging, I firmly really believe in my heart I won. And so many people greeted me in the hallway thinking that same way. But we knew we couldn't lay off the gas pedal. We had to come back because we know they're going to rejudge everything you get. That's just the way it goes when it's close. And it was very, very close.
Mhm.
And we brought it, and I brought more energy, more excitement. My family was there, my friends was there, my clients were there, the crowd was going nuts. And I believe firmly, and a lot of other people firmly that we pulled it out. Ian was off. He's a great bodybuilder. I love him after, talking with him in Dallas. He's a great person. But I just know that he was off and I was on in that show.
Yep. And unfortunately, the judges, it's not even saying like the judges didn't give it to you, because like from where I was looking and where I was covering the show, I had you winning, because I mean the again, coming back to that 3D muscle, the conditioning. I thought that Phil might have, or not Phil, but Ian might have beat you out on the side shots, but the, like who wins a show on a side shot? Like I think since I got into bodybuilding, Jay, Dorian, Ronnie, everyone says shows are won from the back. And when you look at your back, I mean, I thought that was lights out.
And honestly, I firmly believe it was that way. Now you have to start speculating what the judges are looking for that day. And
Okay.
that's the confusing part as a pro is you'll look back at the previous year and then you'll come in or do your best to do exactly or try to guess to do exactly what they were looking at the previous year, bring it in the following year, then it's something different and you're being told something different. And that's the
Mhm.
frustration with the sport, you know. So sometimes you just got to bite the bullet. I think I opened up a lot of eyes with the judges as well as a lot of people. And not to go too far, but after the Tampa, that now struck a fuse. But I was actually done at the Tampa. I wasn't going to compete. Texas was not even a thought. Tyler mentioned to my wife that he should go to Texas.
Mhm.
I didn't believe her because my wife is always energetic, and I was like, I think she was trying to swoop me into going to Texas. So I saw Tyler backstage, and he said, "Yes, this was really, really close. I'm judging at Texas. Go to Texas." And I said to Phil, Viz, I said, "Listen, we have to bring it." And he was like, "Well, I don't know how much more we can. I mean, what we brought to Tampa was
Yeah.
good, and I don't want to push it to the point where." your body can't handle it. And I said, I looked him right in the eye at the volcano pool party, and I said, we need to come in better.
Mm-hmm.
I want to shock these judges. I want to come in looking like stone. And it was hell. It was literally hell for those 6 days to bring what I brought into Texas. I was in a lot of pain that I never showed on stage. I was so dry. It was like walking on bone in the hotel room. Feet always had to stay elevated. It was, a lot of people don't know this, but you're probably the first person I'm talking to about it. The level of pain I was in was not tolerable. But when the lights turned on and I hit backstage, the adrenaline was going, God is in my ear, and it's time to turn it on. So now you don't feel anything. And Texas, man, that crowd brought some excitement. When we were battling, man, let me tell you something. That's what bodybuilding needs. These crowds to get back in it, give us that extra energy to fight on stage and battle it out. And even that show, I know I brought the level of conditioning was not, that was like a Dexter Jackson crazy conditioning I brought.
Yeah.
And if anything, at most, I would say I should have took second. At anything at most, I would have said, give me, I should have got second. I believe I won Tampa. I truly believe that. And that being said, going into Texas, even second I would have took, because the level of conditioning, I basically topped what I brought to Tampa, and I was just looking to be rewarded as such. It didn't go that way. But, I went up against a great set of guys, Steve, Ian, and I just got to be a great sportsman, and I'm going to come back next year better, much better.
Yeah. Man, Phil, you touched on a lot of good stuff. The energy in that room, I bet you, was tangible, with the fans, and then the charisma and energy that you put off during your posing. When they put you in the middle, my hair was like up on my neck. It's so much fun to be such a huge fan of yours and bodybuilding in general, but then also being able to like give my honest opinion on these shows. I'm ecstatic right now. But I want to kind of pedal back a little bit, because I was so excited for what you brought in 2021. I was very excited when I kind of really got to know you from a fan's point of view in 2019, moving into words are hard, man. Like, that's my saying in this channel, is words are hard, because I get excited and then whatever, the dictionary goes out the door. But when you were coming off of 2020, moving into the 2021 competitive season, that calendar year, what was the big takeaway from 2020 that you applied to the 2021 season? Like, what did the judges want to see improved from you?
The main thing that the judges wanted, they wanted a smaller waistline. That was the main thing they wanted to see, and a flatter stomach. And I did that. I brought that in Chicago, and that's why I was like stunned. I'm like, wow, they just really did this to me. After I put all this hard work and working on my waistline. The issue is this. I have a long torso, and genetically, I have very thick muscle belly. So to have a completely flat midsection, for me, it's just genetically not going to happen. I was telling my wife, what I got to do is get some sandpaper and just start sandpapering my abs. It's not a stomach, it's muscle bellies. Okay. Right. And if you look at some competitors, Dexter Jackson had it.
Dexter, yes.
It's muscle belly. So I think that's what I'm getting. I think I got scrutinized a little bit for that in Texas when I spoke to the judges, and I'm like, well, that wasn't the case in Tampa. Why is that now being an excuse now in Texas? Tampa, I heard nothing. I heard come to Texas. Now I'm getting two reasons. The only thing I believe I have to bring up, not to cut you short from what you asked, is my back shots. Bring up my hamstrings a little bit more. My side shots, my hamstrings, I did beef them up to prior year, but from the back, they want to see a little bit more thickness, because that's what I'm battling with the shorter guys. Okay. Yep. So my main thing from coming from 2020 into 2021 was to control the midsection, bring in a smaller waist, okay, and come in grainy, hard, and full. Because I was always struggling with the fullness and prejudging. Even in 2019, I had a battle. Okay, no, I'm sorry, 2020, I had a battle to get that fourth place spot in Tampa because I wasn't full. I was flat in prejudging. So I struggled with that. Even 19, I struggled with the fullness in prejudging. Um, and that's just because honestly, Dave wasn't there. Pictures work good over phones. It doesn't work for me. You physically have to be there because they might think you're full, and in person you're not. So my big thing for 2021, coming from 2020, was bringing the waistline, which I did way better. I think this is the smallest my waist has ever been.
Phenomenal.
Bring in the midsection and come in full. And that's what we worked on coming from 2020 to 2021.
And you did that. I think I remember in the comment section, people still mention the midsection, but I think that a lot of people, especially the casual fans, need to understand exactly what Phil just said here. It's muscle bellies. It's not like a Bumstead where like the midsection is just, it's not built with muscle. It's just small taper. Like you have legitimate muscle bellies in your abdominals. And there's nothing you can do about that. I mean, I know that there was that Russian guy who's a classic competitor. He took a few years off and just completely atrophied the midsection. But I mean, you're getting to the point in your career. It's like, if you took 2 or 3 years off, like one, that would completely destroy your momentum. And I mean, who knows what you're going to look like in 3 years if you took all that time off? I'm
at a position right now where taking time off is not on my side.
No.
I'm getting hotter as the years goes on. I get better at each show that I do.
Yes.
That's why I tend to do 3 shows a year. And like I said, I can't afford to take right now. I have to ride this out and just see where it takes me. And right now, I'm feeling really great. My training has been great. My strength is gradually coming back. I took some pictures today outside in Florida, which my wife is probably going to post tomorrow, to let people see the growth that's already starting to happen. Wow. I'm just very, very genetically blessed, and God's been on my side and my family's side for so long. And like I said, if it wasn't for God, I wouldn't still be doing this, because Chicago, I was done. Prepping for Tampa was worse. I mean, the stuff that Phil was giving me to do, I was like, this guy think I'm in my 20s? You know what I mean? I'm just not capable of doing. And I think it was about 3 weeks out from Tampa, sitting in my car, I was like, I can't do this. I got to find a way to go home and tell the family that I just can't do it. It's just too much, you know what I mean? And I'm just not that young guy that could, I have a full-time job. I have a hefty workload with clients in the gym. I have online clients. I have athletes. I'm not a sponsored athlete until now when HD added me to the team. But I'm not like some of these guys where they just work out and sleep and eat and train, and that's it.
Yep.
If I had that opportunity, oh man, Mr. Olympia would have been won a long time ago. You know what I mean? But I have a full-time job. I run my own business, and me and my wife, we've been doing this for years. So trying to fit that in. And then my issue was being so depleted, and there was times I was mean to my clients. And they understood because they've been with me while I prepped.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I just don't like when I don't feel like giving 150% to them because my energy's so low. So that's why I give them all the praise, because they gave me that support. So I said, God, I don't know what more you want me to do. Just tell me what you need me to do. I can't do this, And all I heard was him saying, just get up and put one foot in front of the other, and I'll do the rest. And people could say what they want to say. That's what I was told. And every morning I did just that. The alarm goes off. I'm like, oh man, it's 4:30 in the morning. You know what I mean? I got up, sat up on the side of the bed, and just put one foot in front of the other when I had to hit that hour cardio and train. And there it was. The armor of God showed up at Tampa, and it showed up again in Texas. So, you know what I mean? Having him at the pedestal and at the top of my game, that's why I'm capable to bring the best of the Jamaican Tag Phil Clahar each and every year. So I believe I got a few more years to go because the body's feeling good, the joints are feeling good, and I'm just ready to continue, especially with the love I'm getting from social media. It's driving me now to
Mhm.
now. Some people bodybuilders can't handle the pressure, but I'm welcoming it because everybody's letting me know the impact I'm playing on their life right now. Saving lives is what I'm getting on my DM. People in dark places and watching these videos from HD and watching these podcasts that you don't even understand some of the things I'm getting in my DM. And people saying they're crying watching me talk because I'm giving them this feeling that they haven't had in a long time. And you gotta understand we're in very tragic times right now with everything going on. And
Right.
there's not much love that's going on out there. So my impact of love and give back to society and the community, especially in my area, is what I'm willing to do. So I have this platform, I'm going to step up. And next year, I guarantee I will be in the Olympia. I just firmly believe. I missed it by 8 points this year, and I will
Mhm.
definitely be there next year.
Yeah, if not winning a show. I mean, you have the hype, you're making the improvements, you know what you need to improve on. So like all that's left for you to do is take that sponsorship money and that time, and just invest it in yourself and training, making those improvements, and then bringing a more improved Phil Clahar next year. I agree with you. I firmly believe that we will see you at the Olympia in 2022, in one capacity or the other. Either a qualification on points or a qualification. Hopefully, you get to win your hometown show, the Tampa Pro, in the men's open. But man, Phil, I normally don't get shivers as much as I am right now. I really appreciate you sharing that experience, that knowledge, and especially when you talked about having that pain going through that prep, getting ready for the show. Like a lot of people don't talk about stuff like that. They just they want to make it sound like it's just part of the business, part of the work. But I can't imagine like that pain that you went through with the feed. And yeah, I haven't been to that level yet at all.
Yeah. Honestly, and that's what makes me different from everybody else. Okay? I'm not going to say what people tell me to say. I'm going to say what my heart tells me to say. And I'm going to be me. I'm not
Mhm.
going to change who I am. Um, I mean, if you see me at Tampa, when I come off the stage and walk through that hallway, everybody is greeting and hugging. And I make my time for everybody. And after the show, pictures are being taken. And then I go to the pool party afterwards, which I don't see a lot of, high level pros do that.
Mhm.
And I believe that, listen, before we were who we are, those fans help us get to where we're at.
Right.
We can't start neglecting them and feel as though we're too good to sit next to or talk or share some time. So me being at the volcano pool party, which Tim Gardner puts on a great one every year, I
Uh-huh.
wasn't there long because I knew I was going on to compete at Texas, but I still took the time to go out there and take pictures and listen to people tell me, people my age, if not older, or people in their late 30s telling me I just gave them hope to now continue to compete. So you're always going to get 150% from Phil Clahar. You're always going to get the real me, the real. I'm not going to hide anything. I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm not human. That us as bodybuilders don't go through it. I'm not going to play that Iron Man thing. We go through it. And if anybody sees what I look like in Texas, anybody will know that, trust me, that came with some type of level of agony,
Mhm.
to be able to look like that. So yeah, you're just going to get the real Phil all the time.
That's good to hear, man. One, from a journalist point of view, like I like to hear that, and then as a personal fan of yours, like that makes me very excited to get to know you more, and to see the future that's going to be yours in 2022. I feel like this is a good place to stop, but I want to talk about training and I want to talk about nutrition, at
Yeah,
least.
good.
So, what's your philosophy on training?
On the off season, I do train lower volume. So rep count to range from 12, 2 sets of 12 and 2 sets of 10. I try to change it by the week. It could be 12, 10, 8, 8, or 12, 10, 8, 6. Obviously, I'm pushing weight. Um, but I also maintain my form. So I'm not going to load up, a T-bar row and go straight ham on it like a Ronnie Coleman or anybody else. I have to have that strict movement throughout the motion. If I can't do it, I'm not going to lift it. And that's what the longevity of the joints come into play by training smarter, not harder.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Now, showtime, the rep count do go up, and then we drop down to 3 sets. So it's high volume then. So it could be from 15 to 20 to 30 reps, all depending how I'm feeling that day.
Mm-hmm.
I break my body parts down. I have 2 days off a week, which is Wednesday and Sunday. Sunday is family time. It's God's day. We're home. Like today was a relaxing day. Me and just my wife. We have 3 of our grandkids, but they're on their visit with their dad. So it's a relaxation day. Monday, I hit the gym, quad dominant, and throw in some one or two sets of high volume with some hamstring curls. Tuesday is chest and triceps. Wednesday, I'm off. So my workload is very heavy for my clients on Wednesday because I'm not training. Thursday is shoulders. And then Thursday is hamstrings dominant and glutes. And then
Okay.
Thursday is shoulders. And then Saturday is my favorite, big back.
Right.
That's my favorite exercise is training back. So I do train smart. I don't go crazy. I don't have any joint problems. So I keep my squat within range. I don't need to go above 365 with a barbell squat. I don't need it. I don't believe in pressing heavy weight builds muscle. I believe in rest and nutrition and recovery is what builds muscle. That's been my philosophy from day one. I never had an injury, knock on wood, thank God. And I continue to grow with that philosophy of training. Focus on mind and muscle connection with the weights, get your pump, and get out of the gym.
Mm. I think I appreciate you sharing that with us and the fans. I think that's something a lot of us newbies, because like I feel like I'm still in that newbie category. We like to focus on trying to hit big numbers. Everyone's trying to get like a PR or an Instagram highlight reel, but no one's focusing on, or at least a lot of people in the novice category or the bros, the fans, are focusing on trying to do that. They're not focusing on the essentials, the foundational strength. You mentioned the mind to muscle connection, taking care of yourself and the joints. So if you can
gotta look at it. You got to look at it. Don't mean to cut you off.
You're good. You're good.
Are we bodybuilders or powerlifters? That's the philosophy that a lot of people are not understanding. Yes, it's impressive. You can throw on 7 plates on each side and do a deadlift. Okay, it's very impressive. You're very strong. But what are we telling the younger group and the next young people coming up? Are we teaching them that this is the proper way to train? Is this how you get big? Listen, when I was a youngster at 13 years old and I looked at the magazine, I thought every supplement I saw in the magazine they were taking is what's going to make you look like a bodybuilder, right?
Right.
My thing is to preach truth and be realistic and just tell them the way it is. You know what I mean? This is bodybuilding. It's not powerlifting. If we focus more on bodybuilding, it'd be less people tearing biceps, less people tearing. This stuff sets you back, especially with some of these top pros that's getting injured while they're prepping for shows, right? So my big thing is let's understand it's bodybuilding. Let's train like bodybuilders. That's how they did it in the 90s. You didn't see no crazy weight going, and these guys were big. Marcus Rule, these guys were big boys. You know what I mean? So we just like to just train smart, and that's what I do. I'm not a powerlifter. You're never going to see me trying to get more Instagram followers, trying to squat 8 plates on each side. It's not going to happen. Not by me anyway.
I appreciate that. It's a good philosophy to move with moving forward. So if you want to be like Phil Clahar, train smart, not hard. Don't train for the Instagram reels. Train. What do I normally say? Strategic. Have something smart and strategic. Have a plan when you go into the gym. Don't just. You can do feelers, right? You can do feelers within your left and right limits, but know what you're gonna do. Know what you're gonna do before you go into the gym. Don't go crazy.
Right.
I've had plenty of injuries already, and I'm 27 and I'm still healing from a hamstring tear and a labrum tear. So it's like stupid things. So
yeah, sometimes too. The minute something don't feel right, back off.
Oh man, yeah. If something's like sharp and pain feeling, or if something's really tight,
off.
Stretch.
Your body always gives you signs that something isn't right, right?
Yep.
So even me, like if I'm feeling really good and I get underneath that Smith machine, because I don't use barbells. I get underneath the Smith machine and I'm
Same.
pressing and I get 365 and I go for the 415 and I get a 6 reps and then the person spots me like, oh man, you can go up. No, I don't want to. You know what I'm saying? Even though I'm feeling good, you got to know your limit, is what I'm
Right.
saying. Know what is enough to when to back off. I'm not looking for people to look at me in the gym and be like, oh wow, my gym is a small family-based gym anyway. You know what I mean? So everybody already look up to me, and
Right.
as a successful bodybuilder and a business owner, because I rent space out of it Anytime Fitness, and there's not many big guys in Anytime Fitness. So
Yes.
you know what I mean?
Preach.
And a lot of people say to me, like, how come you won't go here or these big box gyms to train and you'll get more attention? And that's the first thing I shut them off right there. I said, I don't go to the gym for attention. I'm not that guy you're going to see in a tank top. I stay covered. If you're big, no matter how much clothes you got, they know you're big.
Right.
Okay. So I don't need to show off to people that, I am big. And I like smaller gyms because my gym, I can focus. I'm like Rocky. And if you saw Mr. T, he trained in a little dungeon. He didn't
Hmm.
have to be out there. So to keep me in line is a key word, is to stay what's brought me where I've been this whole time. Why
Right.
switch it up? Now, granted, I am going to go visit some people in the gyms. I'm going to go train with Sean Roden. He gave me an invite. I'm going to go train with Nick Walker. He's about four hours and a little bit from me, but I already warned him. He's a young guy. He's strong. Don't expect me to lift what he's going to lift. I told him that from
Take it easy on
I
the
give,
old guy.
yes, I give him a heads up. I'm going to go Austin Kerr. I'm going to go out to Vegas with him
Ooh,
and
when are
train
you
with
going
him.
there?
That I'm not sure yet because I'm going to the Olympia
Okay.
to eye up some of the competition. Me and HD, we're all going up to Olympia, and then I'm going to make. I have to go to Pitt's gym, which is a IFBB Pro has a gym in Jacksonville. I'm going to
Okay.
go there in October, so I'm going to start making these plans now after the Olympia to start going out to Vegas and so forth and so on.
Okay. I am doing Austin's show in Vegas in November.
Oh yeah.
So if you find yourself in Vegas trying to visit Austin Carr in November, let me
Oh
know.
yeah, that's right. That's when his show is.
Yeah.
His NPC show. Okay.
Yep. Me and Charles Curtis actually. Charles is one of his clients is going to do the show as well. So we're going to meet up there. Maybe get a training session in, get dinner or something.
Okay.
So if you find yourself there, let me know. Well, I'm sure I'll find out. I follow you.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you sharing that knowledge, man. I feel like a lot of people don't talk about it as much as they should. They just make those highlight reels where, a lot of people don't focus on the essentials, the foundational strength. So,
But for longevity, if everybody wants longevity, like everybody asks me what the secret is. I mean, there's no secret. You know what I mean? One is just being truly blessed. There's one.
mhm,
And for years, just training smart. I was young and I was
mhm,
doing the 315 behind the neck barbell press and all that. I did all that when I was young.
mhm,
But if you want longevity in the sport, and if we notice in all the sports now, everybody's playing past 40. I mean, science is different now, so it's allowing that to happen, right?
right.
So if we just be smart and take care of ourselves, we can see a lot of older bodybuilders. That's what I'm trying to strike that fire right now.
Mhm,
Can still push through and stick with, these younger guys. I'm not going to masters. My job from the time I went pro was to win the open. I wasn't expecting to win the overall, and that happened. But to win the open, when I saw that I won the overall, and the head judge came up to me after the show and said, "Make us proud as IFBB Pro. You have all you have what it takes to go to the Olympia." Because they liked my structure. I have a
yeah.
very good structure. From then on, I just been pushing. So, what I mean? If I could make it happen for somebody else out there, all you just got to do is be on your grind, be very determined, and just believe that there's a higher power out there that can give you that strength and that inner power to push forward. So if I could strike this now, that's why, I turn 48 next year. Then
Yeah.
I'm 49. So hopefully within this next 2-3 years, I could be battling on that, for that win at Mr. Olympia. Right now, my job is to get there. Where I place, I don't care.
Right.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
The first you
Because
got stepping stones, right?
yes.
Yeah.
So my thing is, I asked God to, I asked God for two things in my career of bodybuilding. Was I wanted to become an IFBB pro.
Mhm,
That happened. It was a long journey, but he did it on his time, not mine.
mhm,
My next thing now is to make it to the Olympia. And I never truly believe more now. I didn't believe in the past. I just heard people say, you can make it, you can
Right.
do it. And then I knew people saying, you'll never be up there with the top three, the top four, your top five, right? So now, after this year, it's shown me that I am built for great things. And I know there's a bigger thing in store for me.
Mhm.
So when you're feeling down, trust me when I tell you, life is better on the other side. I look at what's going on in the world, you know,
Right.
it's just sad outside of the United States what's going on in the world. It's very, very
Especially.
sad.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my thing is I'm not a politician. I don't speak politics. I just speak love. So if I could tackle one day, I don't look forward to tomorrow until tomorrow comes because today got enough troubles in its own, which is today, right?
Right.
So I just take my time and take it one day at a time to focus and be great and be a positive role model. That's all I want to be. And by having this opportunity to stand next to the best of the best this year, you know what I mean? Everybody says to me, this is what they say to me, why do you wait so late in the year and you go up against tough competitions, right? Why don't you start early in the year when the competition isn't so tough? That's true. And we're all
Okay.
going to start next year early. We're all
Okay.
starting early next year,
All
right?
right. All right.
But here's the thing. If I do a show and go to the Olympia because it was easy and there was no top pros there, where's
Mhm.
that going to put me when I get to the Olympia? You get what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
So I always want to go against the best of the best. I was a wrestler, and that's all I wrestled was the best of the best, right? So
Mhm.
I know people, pros strategically pick shows to get that win. I know there's a strategy to it, right? And we're
Right.
going to use it next year. We'll use it next year, right? But we're still going to do Tampa.
Right.
You know what I mean? You know, we're looking at Indy. We're looking at a couple of shows early in the year to just
Mhm.
strike.
Yep.
And then I'm still going to do Tampa. So I'm not going to run from top competitions if I expect to be a legit competitor in the Olympia. So
Right.
no, I'm not going to run from top competitions. I never will. I
Mhm.
want to know how good I am, how good Phil the Jamaican Tank is, right? So I love it that I'm 47. I love it that I'm going against these guys that probably could be my sons. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. You know what I mean? And my grandkids love watching it, so I'm going to keep doing it.
Good to hear, man. I'm excited to hear that you're going to be competing early in 2022. And then I'm also excited to hear that you're going to be making your return to Tampa as well. I'm actually thinking that might be one of the shows I go to. My dream for this channel is to actually go to these shows and do the Giles, actually set up a backdrop and do
Right.
interviews with you guys in person. Obviously, I'm active duty military, so I've got a
Oh,
plan.
thank you for your service, buddy. Thank you.
Oh yeah, no worries. I honestly I love what I do. I've been in the Army for over a decade, so I enjoy what I do. But
Yeah,
yeah,
we
if I
respect. Listen, you guys don't get the respect that you guys deserve. You know
right.
what I mean? And let me say, I told it was a Marine that trains at my gym,
Mhm.
and he told me some of the stories and the holes he slept in. And he came up to me the other day. And he's like, thank you for being that inspiration. He said, this year, Phil, we've watched you years in the gym, and what you did this year, this was just something long time coming. And he's like, thank you so much. I said, thank me. I said, without you, I wouldn't be able to do what I'm able to do now. So I
Right.
thank you guys, honestly, the vets, the ex-vets, everybody, because without you guys doing your job, and you guys don't get the love and the respect that I believe you guys should be getting today in this times. You know what I
Sure.
mean? So
Yeah,
thank
I've
you
seen
very
it.
much for your service, because without you and everybody else, we wouldn't be able to do what we love as professional athletes in every sport.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I appreciate it. Yeah. I definitely don't I don't toot my own horn for it because I play my part, but like there's definitely people that do a lot harder things than what I do. So yeah, I always support vets when I see them because yeah, a lot of people don't get the appreciation until 20, 30 years afterwards. So yeah, I appreciate that. But yeah, if I could do this full time, that's kind of my dream. I'll probably still find a way to do my next 10 so I could retire, so I at least have a check.
Right,
But
right.
we'll see. The channel's been really growing a lot. So we'll see where we are in a year from now.
Hey, if you love it, keep pushing forward, brother.
Right.
You know
And,
what I mean?
and that's the thing. I love this. I love talking to you guys. I love interacting with the fans. I enjoy what I do in the military, but this is my passion. You know, there's my profession,
Right.
and then this is my passion. So one day I hope to make my passion my profession.
It'll happen.
Yeah, I think so
It'll
too.
happen.
I
Have
appreciate it.
faith, man.
Yes, I
Have
do
faith.
have faith. I
That's
do.
that's what I tell everybody. Have faith. We always the human part sets in where we second guess ourselves and second guess God a lot of times, right? I've
Mhm.
done it a lot. And when I explained to the last podcast I was on, when we made it through the pandemic and my clients, because we were all one big family, my
Right.
my fear was everybody's contract based it. But when this happened and people losing their jobs, the contract is irrelevant now. Okay,
Mhm.
especially me as a spiritual person, I'm not going to hold somebody up to something when they're going through tragic times with their family and so forth and so on. But my clients stood out, man. They said, let's do videos. We're going WhatsApp. We're going to make all of us survive because we all need each other to make it through this thing. And
Mhm.
it was crazy the love they gave me, and I was still they're still sending more money, and I'm still able to feed my family. You don't even understand how good God pulled us through what we went through. And then after the pandemic, my business took off.
Mhm.
And you don't understand, I prayed for years. For years. I would struggle with, I wouldn't get more than 8 clients, and I would struggle and be like, this is not for me. And even with bodybuilding, I'm not placing well and I'm wasting my money because we put a lot of money into the sport to be successful at the end
Right.
of the day, right?
Right.
So with heavy challenges, so when I pray every day, I pray for what God has blessed me with, and I also pray for the times that He did not bless me,
Mhm.
because if everybody challenge God, and I don't mean to go in this direction right now, but
Sure.
something is asking me to say this and speak this. If God rewards us every time that we pray for something, then
Right.
how are we going to believe in Him or be tested in faith to push forward when things are not going well, right?
Mhm.
Just like how we have to train our kids. If we reward them every single time for everything they do, they're slick. Well, if I do this, Pop is going to give me this, or if I do this, Dad's going to give me this, right? So God is a father, so He's going to give us obstacles that we have to leap and jump, right?
Right.
So have faith. There's so many people struggling in their careers or side things that they're doing because it's not successful right away or it's creeping. But like you said, it's picking up, right?
Mhm.
So
Yep.
what you're doing all around in your life is a blessing. We have air and we're breathing. Other people in other countries are not surviving. They're dying by the day, right? We're in the United
Right.
States of America, one of the strongest states in the world with freedom. And that's everybody to understand we have freedom. Fight for your freedom.
Mm.
And what I mean? That's what the big thing right now. Fight for your freedom, have faith, love your brothers and sisters. Don't fight against each other. We're all here for one unique purpose. If we all do our part, like you said, you do your part. If we all do our part, this world will be a very successful place. So people stop thinking that my word isn't going to matter, or why should I say anything because nothing's going to change. Yeah, it will. Have
Yeah.
faith in God. Do your part. Keep pushing forward. No matter how little or small part you play, it's a bigger part at the end of the day. That actually rhymed.
Thumbnail.
Drop the mic.
Yeah. Oh man, lots of knowledge drops today.
Yes,
Um,
man.
man. Uh, let's finish off with nutrition. How about that? What's
Yeah.
your thoughts on nutrition? What is your daily meal prep look like on season versus off season?
Well, the trick of it is the meal stays the same protein wise on the
Right.
off season. The big thing is here's the trick: you want your body to stay adjusted to what it's already eating,
Yep.
especially when you show prep. There's no shocks, there's no surprises, right?
Right.
Because you're
Right.
eating the same foods. So the protein portion of it is still the exact same thing as we do when we show prepping. We just added more carbs now. So
Okay.
everything's all about operating off the digestive system. So cream of rice, jasmine rice, sushi rice, a lot of fast burning carbs. But I used to be an oatmeal guy, but I don't do it now. I rather do the cream of rice. It just sets better with me. And as you get older, your digestive system is key. Making sure I take a probiotic every day. I recommend everybody to take a probiotic every day. Of course, your vitamins, your multivitamins. So the HD supplements I started last year, and it's crazy. Like the supplements is legit, and I know there's a lot of legitimate supplements out there, but for me, my endurance, my strength, uh, it's crazy. I've been in the best shape of my life now since then. And I used to play around with a lot of different supplements. And that's why supplementation is key, regardless of what brand you use.
Mm-hmm.
You know, your glutamine, making sure you're taking your fiber, that's very key. Carb wise, you know, it's not extremely high, but it's a little bit up there until we officially go into our off season. Right now, we're a post show. And then when we go officially into the off season, I think it's going to be like the end of November.
Mm-hmm.
He just don't know. I'm training like it's off season already.
Right.
That's what I told you. I can't let time go by. Like me, I'm ready to go. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm just ready to go. I'm like a young kid in a candy store. I'm ready to go. But yeah, nutrition is a big key. Your supplementation, your food, making sure your protein is where it's supposed to be. I preach a lot about that as well. I train a lot of young clients or young people come up to me. Oh, I'm doing 80 grams of protein here and here. And I said, well, your body's not even processing that much protein.
Sure.
You know, you feed the body depending on how much muscle you're carrying, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you also got to be able to digest that food. Other than that, the rest is going to go in the toilet. So I try to speak wisdom. Stop reading magazines and going to bodybuilding.com and shoveling all this protein down in your body when you're too young. Your body's just not going to be processing appropriately.
Right.
So, you know what I mean? So with all that being said, your fiber, which I get from green vegetables, I really eat a lot of romaine lettuce. I'm not a big broccoli guy. It makes me gassy.
Same.
So romaine lettuce, when he says greens, I eat romaine lettuce. That's good for me. So I eat tons of salad. I take a probiotic / cleanse, daily cleanse every night to process all the food I eat. I do get I get 2 cheat meals a day. I mean, not a day, a week. Wednesday, I wish it was a day. Wednesday and Sunday, because those are days I have no carbs. Like today, there's no carbs in all.
So your off days are no carbs?
Off days are no carbs.
And but it's also your cheat day.
At the end of the night, it's my last meal.
Okay.
But look how it works. Today is no carbs, but my last meal is carbs. So I get about 200 grams of carbs, whatever cheat meal I do, and 60 grams of protein. But it filtered into my leg day, which is Monday.
Yeah.
See how it works?
Okay.
So the same thing with Wednesday. Thursday is now hamstring and glutes. So coming in with that last, cheat meal, exert for the glycogen for the following day. So it's very scientific how you pick to do your cheat meals. Instead of doing them how everybody was doing once a week, regardless if it's carbs for the whole day or not, we like to put it in to the days that there's no carbs. And it's the last meal of the night. So you sleep on it.
Okay.
And then the other days I get sweets.
Yeah. I like how you mentioned you've been taking HD muscle supplements for over a year and they just signed you. So was that something like they saw that you used the products, or was that something where they were already kind of looking at you beforehand?
Let me tell you, HD is out of any supplement company, I'm going to look at the family base of HD. Okay. Because when I started the Chicago, my last 3 weeks, I had coaching issues. And Dorian, my wife reached out to Dorian Hamilton, and he helped me for last year's Chicago. And I looked great. What he did within that 3 weeks with just adjusting and working off of what I was already doing, we came in great. Me and Dorian built a bond, and then we were starting our off season earlier this year. His business went crazy.
Right.
Busy. Gyms, he has a big gym he opened up. Things were going rapid. And we were on the phone, and he said, and I know it bothered him and it hurt him. He had to let go some of his guys because he just didn't have that attention. He said, Phil, you need somebody that's going to be able to give you 150% at this point of your career. And I don't feel I'm going to be able to do that with my work schedule.
Right.
So it hurt me bad, bad. He said, but I'm going to have you team up with Phil Viz. He's part of HD, so I could still be a part of your growth and your success. I just want you to talk to him and see if you guys could click. And we spoke for an hour and we got along very, very well. So what HD saw was I post a lot of stuff for them, even without being sponsored.
Right.
One thing is with me is loyalty. And anybody I know, I keep a very small circle. So if you're part of my circle, you're family. Anything goes wrong, I'm there. I'm not that guy that sits there and say I'm there and then you shoot me a text and I shoot you back a text. No, I'm gonna pick up the phone and call you when you're going through some times, right? So they saw that I was posting, and then I'm just very energetic. So in the hotel room when I at Tampa, when being diet, you're on a very low carb diet, even though you're carbon up, you're exhausted. I was tired, and
Right.
I welcome HD in. It's actually Dorian's sister, and she's so energetic, and we're talking, and I was just speaking from the heart. Anybody I saw that, I broke down a little bit emotionally in that video, but they see that my heart is big. You know what I mean? And why wouldn't you want to be part of a supplement company, or why wouldn't a supplement company would want someone that has a heart big as mine and have that, I don't know, the love and compassion. So they just dropped another video that was Austin Kurt's video, but I was the introduction part of it.
Uh-huh.
And me and Austin's going back and just talking about our years and our year this year, and him saying how by seeing my video or what happened in Tampa, because he was ready to call it quits after Tampa.
Uh-huh.
He said, and he was like, he looked up to me, and I was like, no, man, I look up to you guys. The younger guys is who I look to. That's driving me to compete, to still be in the sport. So I appreciate it when everybody say they're looking up to me. Everybody's my inspiration that I drive off of to push myself forward. So if you have an honest person, you know what I mean, a no nonsense person, he can be funny when he wants to be and very hardworking and very compassionate about himself. And they know I'm a family person, a big family, and they're big family people. Dorian, big time family. We're all one big family. Why wouldn't you? When I got that email, I was so stoked and so happy. And I said, no question. You don't even got to ask me what do I think. It's
Yeah.
100% yes. So that's how I became a HD athlete.
Wow. That's cool. I haven't posted it yet, but I had Gary Turner on the show with Animal, and he kind of like was talking about how it's the brand. It's not really just the products, but it's the people behind the products. And I did product reviews for like 4 years. So like that was like my thing. I've been making videos for over 4 years, and it never clicked. And I think that's because like I wasn't focusing on like who the people are that have made the brands, but it was more about just like trying to do as many products as possible. So I think that's interesting. Makes me it makes me think,
Yeah, look at it. They live by integrity, right?
Right.
Integrity plays a big part in everyone's life. If you don't have integrity, then what do you have? Nothing, right? Yeah. So you got to look at how they brand integrity. That's another thing that struck a foods with me, man. It's all about integrity, man. You are who you are, and people are watching you when you don't think they're watching you. So when you're a shady person, you best believe others will see it when you least expect it, right? So when you're just catering to that personality that you have, and I thank my mom because my mom did a great job. I have 4 sisters. I'm the only boy. For her to raise a young man into becoming a man as a single mother, because my dad wasn't there. And then my stepdad came into play, which is I call him dad to this day. It all comes from the roots, man. My mom did a great job raising me and always told me about integrity and honor, what I mean, and respect. You got to have those three things to make yourself a complete person. And that's what I have. And that's what HD Muscle stands by. And I'm going to stand behind them as long as I see that that's the quality that they carry. So.
That's cool. That lines up with the Army's core beliefs as well. So that's cool. I'll take a look at HD Muscle. Like I'm not sponsored, but like I do like the affiliate stuff for Black Magic because my wife likes the products and I enjoy them as well. So I'll take a look at HD Muscle. At it. Yeah, I'll take a look. That's another cool thing.
For all those people that's looking for some supplements, go on HD Muscle, Clahar, all caps. Get your freaking 10% discount. Sometimes it's even 35%. And check me out there. Even if you just get 1 or 2 products, doesn't matter. Show me your support and your love and grab some items. I had to throw that in there.
No, you're good, Phil. You're good. What other plugs do you have for your sponsorship? Do you have clothing?
All the stuff is on. I didn't do clothing yet, but there's a lot of people asking for Jamaican tank shirts.
Bro, you should do something. Like, that's the best way that we can support.
They want Team Clahar shirts, and we're on the rise of making them or getting them. We just got to get the proper count. But everybody, even my wife was like, "This is time to strike." You know, a bunch of Team Clahar shirts, because the way you have them designed is there's a tank in the middle of it, and then there's Clahar. So you got, and then on the front is Jamaican tank. So the design is sick.
Yeah.
So when everybody shows up, my athletes show up to the show, they all have it on. And you see all these shirts with tanks on them and Team Clahar. So we're going to get some. We're going to get right on and get some made, man, and put them online and start selling them, because there's a lot of people asking for the Jamaican tank shirt. So we're going to get them done.
Mm-hmm. I know it's a niche thing, but I'll do my own plug. I'm starting to work with it's a weightlifting clothing and shoe company called Ninja Viking Ninja. It's one of those really cool brand. They do like the old school bodybuilding tees with the round neck and then like the cuffed shirt.
Right.
You should do something like that with
back in the day.
Yeah.
That's what I remember, the baggy pants with elastic at the bottom. They look like parachute pants.
Parachute pants.
Yeah, I used to wear those we're talking way back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those were my thing, man.
With the black and yellow stripes going down, like Ronnie.
Yeah, and then you had your little fanny pack in the front.
I mean, I still rock a fanny. I'm not gonna lie. I'm an old soul, so.
Yeah, those are the good old days, man. They don't sell that stuff anymore, but I'll still rock them.
Mm-hmm. I'll send you the link for the Viking Ninja stuff, because they have those shirts. Cool. It's really cool. And then who knows? Maybe you'll do a Phil Clahar shirts.
Who knows?
That'd be a cool style choice. Well, shoot, man, I appreciate you coming on the show. I appreciate you just kind of sharing like who you are. That's something that's really fun about this channel, is we get to know the athletes.
Right.
The other channel you were on, behind Beyond the Muscle, I like the name of that one, but I got to figure out a way to not plug that, because every time I've been saying that like phrase for a while, and then I found that channel. I'm like, oh man, like that's such a great name.
Oh, it's a good name, but everybody wants to have their own unique touch and twist on everything, and I tell everybody that. Everybody asks what makes, even though you guys all do podcasts, the big thing is what makes you more unique, what makes you different than everybody else to want to have us on your show. You know what I mean? And by seeing how you operate, your personality, I like it, and you can tell that you're very humble and you're very honest. I read people very well. So while I'm doing this podcast with you, I'm breaking down a lot of things that I see that you're doing a great job on doing. So you're not really just that guy that just have a list of things and questions and go through it. I mean, you're doing everything the way you're supposed to do it. Like me, I don't want to be prepped. Don't prep me. Ask me the questions you need to ask me, and I'm going to give you my honest response. Right. If it's something that I don't want to touch on, then I won't touch on it. You know what I mean? Sure. But that's what I like. I don't like when things are structured, or I get a call ahead of time breaking down how we're going to go about the podcast that I don't really care for. But you're doing a great job, man. Keep doing it the way you're doing it.
I appreciate that, Phil. I'm just having a conversation. That was because I used to do the questions. I had them all lined up, and it's like, I just feel like it's more natural if I just have a conversation with you, because
it's better. And I think you get a better conversation, a better outcome than it being robotic,
right,
or repetitive. If you do every podcast the same way, it becomes repetitive. So you're sitting watching it, and you're like, okay, well, that's the same way he did it with me. You know what I mean? So yeah, you just want to sit down, and then good things will just come out naturally. Yeah. The flow of it goes well. Like today, this is very enjoyable. Time just flew right by, and I had no idea. So this was a very productive and good podcast, man. I love it. I'm happy that I did it. I'm really happy I did it.
Well, good, Phil. Well, man, hopefully we can get you on again, so you can give us an update on your off season. But
yeah, I'm going to start doing pictures. My wife will be putting some up probably tomorrow. I just today decided that, Austin's showing all his little post-show pictures. Let me just do mine too. So I went outside and took some pictures. I'm going to try to keep everybody in the loop of as my grind goes on, my off season. I'm going to really be more active than I've been in the previous years because I know people like content and they want to see what's going on, even though I like to keep my life a little personal. But I'm going to let everybody see what the tank is bringing for 2022.
Yes, Phil. Keep the foot on the pedal. Keep that fire burning and keep everyone hungry for more.
Absolutely.
All right, man. I appreciate you coming on.
You.
Yeah,
yes,
absolutely.
Man, thank you. Keep pushing, brother. I'll keep praying for you.
Hey, I appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Right,
and this is Phil Clahar, guys. Thanks for stopping in, checking out another episode on the Bodybuilding News Network. I'm your host, Saunch. Again, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the style of content, leave a like and let us know who you'd like to see next on the channel. But Phil, thank you so much for coming on, man. It was a pleasure. It was a pleasure getting to know you more.
All right, man. God bless you.
Yeah. Take care.